Do you seem to keep getting projects with a $3,000 to $5,000 budget? If you want to stay working at that range, click to the next video. Hey, thanks for staying! If you want to break that ceiling and get the bigger jobs from your clients, Patrick Moreau explains in his Together workshop how it all begins with teaching your clients how to treat you. To watch a full workshop, follow the link in the description.
So we're going to start with business and process, and we're going to really try and chat about some ideas that help us move from the time and the budget constraints and some of even the location, all of these challenges that we can have where we're showing up and we don't have the room to really do stuff that we not just that we're happy with, but just that can create the results we want and therefore give us the room to do more of that. So we talked about where you guys are now, and we really want to kind of look at those main challenges of how do we get a little bit more time, how do we get more budget, and how do we have a better sense of what we're doing before we show up. And if we can do those things together, they can continue to build on themselves to the point where you can get $10,000, $20,000 plus budgets for a couple days because it can create results for your clients. And it really starts with this idea that you teach people how to treat you. And to be honest, I thought this was David's line, because he would say this all the time, but apparently he's crediting Dr. Phil. So I'd love to just have you kind of kick that one off, and then I'll share a little bit more about how it relates to this whole process. So back to you, David.
Well, okay. Well, this was a real life lesson. Regardless of how you feel about Dr. Phil or whether you know Dr. Phil, this one thing really changed how I do business, my personal relationships. It's about setting precedence, really, and about if you will always jump when your client calls, for instance, and rush out there, and then you need to say later, well, you didn't give me a lot of time, so I threw together the equipment that we had and I shot this. Then you're not really doing your best work. And yet he knows that if he calls you, you're going to come out there with whatever you have. And so it's really just about making sure that how you react to people is how you want them to deal with you in the future.
Yeah, and I think as it relates to this type of filmmaking, when we accept and don't speak up about not meeting the person in advance, not knowing what the heck we're doing, not knowing the locations, and having an unreasonable budget, then we are teaching them that that's okay. That it is okay to we can go and do it. The moment we just go like, okay, whatever, I'll make it work, and we just go off and do it, it becomes the standard, and it does work. I had a client call me about a month ago in the evening, and it was like, I need a personal favor. I've got this little, nonprofit that's using our product, and we want to do a little case study video for them. But honestly, it's more because they're in my hometown. I don't really have a budget. Can I just pay you guys some day rates to support my in-house crew? Can you just help? And it's a client that we do a lot of work for, and so we were happy to help. But one, it was important to set up early on that this is a one-time case, and it's because of that, and that these rates are not transferable or anything else, and I'm doing this as a favor to you. And as we went through, we added a couple days of production, and basically we went in and we did the interviews and built out the story, right? And their crew, their team supplied a lot of the crew and everything else. But my producer, who managed it, got really close to the project, as you do when you pre-interview people and you build out the story and everything else. And so we go down and we film everything, and then it's going over to the in-house team. And so she asks if she can manage the project through post because she wants to see it get delivered. And so we do a couple revisions, we send it in, and the client comes back and it's just like, okay, well, we're just going to take this in-house now, and we don't need you anymore. We're just going to keep going back and forth, and you don't need to work on this. And she was devastated because we didn't do this for the money. We didn't get a budget. And she really cared about it. She was leading it, right? And it's one of those times where, a client can do something and we can choose to just kind of accept it and move on, or we can try and speak up. And it's one of those things that you really do teach people how to treat you. And so we wrote them an email and said, look, we took this on, we barely got paid, we got really connected to it, and it's not cool to cut us out at the end because we want to see this go all the way through. And if we don't deliver the best thing for you, if it doesn't end up being as strong as it can be, well, that reflects on us too. And that's not why we do this. And so like we want to stay engaged. We want to be a part of this whole process. And it was interesting because the CEO wrote us back that day and was like, I'm so sorry. I know, like, didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind. I thought I was just making your life easier, you know, and totally we'll keep you guys involved. We'll make sure. But that taking that time to kind of speak up about what you need, even if it doesn't change the current situation you're in, like if you're getting $3,000 and you need 5, or you're getting 3 hours and you need 6, just speaking up and explaining what you need and why you need it and how that's where we have to go and why we have to go there can really cause a big shift. And that's the key, is being vocal before it happens or as it happens, not accepting it and then coming back, because it's so hard after the fact. Right? If Handel goes out and shoots something for $3,000 in a day and then comes back and it's like, great, but can I have $5,000 next time? Like, you just seem like you want more. And it doesn't work. But the moment you say that as it happens, it can really shift things. So we want to really kind of focus on making sure that we're speaking up and we are communicating clearly what we actually need and why we need it.
Was your mind blown with knowledge just like mine was? Check the links in the description for the full workshop, and remember to subscribe to get more mind-blowing nuggets from professional filmmakers. And do share what your takeaways were in the comments section below. Go ahead, I'll wait.